All right, thank you all for joining. We are hosting a learning session with the GLBN because we are launching off first effort GLBN endorsement for a ballot measure or an initiative for the state of Michigan called Mop Up Michigan or Michiganders for um, money out of politics. Sorry. And we have a guest speaker here a couple guest speakers here that are leading the organizing behind this ballot measure, which is an effort to try to limit how politics and money are intertwined within our government decision making. And I will say that I've had the pleasure of working with both Christy and Sean on many issues that are across the state of Michigan. And I've had the unfortunate pleasure of hitting our head against the wall because of the way that money and politics influences so much of the decision making in the state of Michigan. And so this is a really great opportunity for the business network to start to work on some democracy work and make sure that the citizens' voice continues to be heard as decisions move forward. And so I know you've been working on this and Groundwork has done an endorsement. And so I didn't know if you wanted to jump in and list out any of the ways that you became involved, but I am also personally involved in this and excited to see that the business network is endorsing formally, and we have a couple members that are also stepping in to do volunteer work. So more to come on that, but Zoe, I'll hand it off to you.
Yeah, it's been really great to see the excitement from our business members. I know they're excited to watch this back and learn how they can get involved collecting signatures in their communities. I will say Groundwork has endorsed as well, and so we have office hours where folks can stop into our Traverse City office at Common Grounds on the second floor and sign the petition. It's been cool to see other pop-up locations as well. I know I went into the Urban League here in Grand Rapids and signed. There were folks also this weekend at a local event here in Grand Rapids outside collecting signatures. So there's ample opportunity to sign and look forward to helping get more of those opportunities in front of folks.
All right, great. Well, we will quickly hand it right over to Sean and Christy to talk more about where this ballot measure stands, what the language means, why it's so critically important, and what the business network in particular and individual businesses can do to step in and join. So thanks so much, Christy and Sean, for joining.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having us, Beth. And thank you, everybody. We're just honored to get the first ballot initiative endorsement for Great Lakes Business Network. That's wonderful. And also did want to introduce our really badass campaign manager who came out here from Virginia to help us get this across the finish line, Courtney Otto, who's joined us today as well. Um, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to run through a few slides real quick just to tell everybody about what the ballot initiative does. And then we want to get pretty quickly down to why it's important now and how we hope we can work together to make sure that we are successful at passing the Mop Up Michigan ballot initiative this year. Um, so can folks see my screen?
Looks great.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Excellent. So yeah, Michiganders for Money Out of Politics grew out of the Taking Back Our Power Coalition, which is a coalition of several nonprofits who worked across the 2023 and 2024 session to get this passed legislatively to ban regulated utilities and government contractors from continuing to spend outlandish amounts of money in our political process and essentially buy representation that should belong to the people. And so what our ballot initiative does is exactly that. We have the main provisions here are that we would ban regulated utilities as well as any entities associated with them, which includes their 501c4s, their PACs, et cetera, from contributing to either candidates or office holders who have any responsibility for regulating them. That includes the governor, state legislators, the attorney general, state or local party committees, and any entities affiliated with any of the above. And the affiliated entities piece is important because that will actually ban dark money contributions as well. So not just the contributions we can see, but the contributions that we know are happening that nobody can see. And so the other piece of what we're doing is that same thing for government contractors with contracts greater than $250,000 a year. And we're banning those entities as well as their C-suite executives and board members from making any contributions, either directly or indirectly, to candidates for state office, political parties, or candidate or contractor affiliated PACs or other pass-through entities. And so right now in Michigan, to kind of set the stage, the three biggest spenders in state politics are DTE, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and Consumers Energy. DTE and Consumers Energy have been able to keep their rates rising on all of us every year for at least the past decade. In 2022, the last time that both the state house and state senate were up for election at the same time, out of 148 state legislators, 138 of them got contributions from DTE. Blue Cross Blue Shield does the same thing. They, as the largest healthcare provider or the largest health insurance provider in the state, they really work to keep the profits flowing to insurance companies in the medical system without regard for what the rest of us are having to pay. Some of the ways they were able to accomplish that, in fact, while we were working on this package, there was a bill in the state house that would have required health insurance companies to use the same standards of care that our doctors use, which would mean way less back and forth with your doctor prescribing a medication or a treatment and the insurance company saying, no, we're not going to cover that. It's not medically necessary, even though your doctor says it is. This would have made them have to use the same standards of care. That legislation didn't go anywhere because Blue Cross Blue Shield was able to block it. Much like so much of the progress that I know GLBN members especially care about around climate and energy policy, a lot of the good progress that we could have there has been blocked by DTE and Consumers Energy. And when they can't block it, they undermine it, as we saw in the 2023 energy package. So the other thing that we're working to do on this ballot initiative is to require disclosure of dark money in electioneering communication. And so I want to explain this with an example. Right now, the only way something is considered electioneering is if you expressly say vote for or vote against a candidate or a ballot measure. You have to have the magic words, we call them: vote for, vote against, support, oppose, etc. If you don't include something that direct, then things are not considered electioneering, and those expenses do not have to be reported. And so here we say that within 100 days of a general election or within 30 days of a primary, if anybody is doing what we now call issue ads, these ads that are essentially electioneering but come to us under the guise of issue ads, we expand the definition of electioneering to include anything that references a candidate or a ballot initiative. And if you spend more than $5,000 within 100 days of a general election or 30 days of a primary on ads for those expenditures have to be disclosed, and also all donors who helped make those expenditures have to be disclosed. So that's what the policy does. What we've seen so far is just overwhelming support across the state. In 2024, we had a poll done that showed us starting at 81% in favor. And that cut across Democrats, Republicans, independents, really all demographic groups. 81% of folks across Michigan were in favor. We did message testing with that and found that when our opposition message hits, which you usually in polling expect to see your numbers fall once people hear the opposition message. We actually saw our numbers climb when after folks heard the opposition messages from 81% in favor to 86% in favor. We had a poll there was a poll that was done this last November, just a few months ago, that showed we're still holding at 81% in favor, cutting across all demographic groups. And so, this is an incredibly popular initiative, and we are so excited to have your support as we work to get signatures across here. I'd love to pass it to Christy to talk for a minute about why we're doing this now, why this is necessary in the current political context.
Well, great timing, Sean. Hi, everyone. Sorry I'm off camera, but the reason I'm off camera is actually part of the reason why this is the right thing to do right now in this political climate. I am scrambling to help do some back-end work to pull together a press conference in support of overwhelming calls from the city of Romulus to stop the expansion of an ICE detention facility there. I think that it's crystal clear that Michiganders are losing their health care. Food benefits are threatened. We're seeing drastic cuts to all sorts of federal programs that we rely on that we really need, not the least of which, of course, is expanding renewable energy projects, and so many other infrastructure upgrades like lead service line replacement. And that is the money that was going towards those things, among other things, is going towards the massive expansion and build out of ICE, which is regularly violating our most basic constitutional protections. If you haven't been closely following what's happened in Minneapolis, I really encourage you to go read some of the judicial opinions coming out of there. You have federal judges clearly and succinctly stating that ICE is breaking the entire concept of the rule of law in the most foundational way they've ever witnessed. And we are careening towards escalating political violence as a direct result of ICE expansion. So the good news is that while there has unfortunately been enough indoctrination and disinformation to confuse a lot of Michiganders about whether or not immigration is a problem and whether or not ICE should be doing what it's doing, Michiganders from both parties are crystal clear on corruption, and they're furious about it. So this is how we bring people back from the brink of political violence. This is how we reach out to Michiganders who are being exposed to massive amounts of disinformation, frankly, justifying the destruction of our democracy. It is how we build back public trust in government, which has been eroded by a campaign finance system that has created a state government that delivers for the highest bidder. It does not deliver for all Michiganders. And I think we're seeing that that is actually really bad for business. There is no aspect of the Trump administration's agenda that is helping our economy thrive right now. The people doing well are billionaires that are becoming trillionaires, private prisons that make billions of dollars in contracts off of the literal punishment of human beings, and of course, the surveillance state that is being created by those same tech billionaires that are also getting contracts to monitor all of us in pursuit of the Trump administration's efforts to undermine our democracy. So don't think I need to belabor the point anymore. Now is the time. This is a very big picture campaign that is also practical and intensely focused on very concrete things that we could do to take a bite out of dirty money that's driving corruption here in Michigan.
Well, should I tell folks how they can help, Sean?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks,
Awesome.
Courtney.
Awesome. So first off, I really just want to say thank you all so very much for stepping up to endorse the campaign. I think it really sends a powerful message that fair rules and accountable government are good for Michigan's economy and for businesses that want to compete on a level playing field. So that being said, we are right in the middle of our signature gathering efforts. And so your support is incredibly timely. And we're very excited to activate a number of the businesses that are a part of the coalition. So some practical, high impact ways that businesses can help ensure that we get the signatures needed and that we get this initiative on the ballot and then ultimately win it. First is signing on as a petition location. Zoe mentioned this earlier. with groundwork, doing sig collection at Common Ground. If you have a restaurant or a store and you're open to having the petition at your store, or you're open to our circulators being able to come into your store to gather signatures, that would be fabulous. We have just over almost, I guess, we're closing in on 1,000 volunteers across the state, and ensuring that we are able to get those volunteers out in the field, in the public, especially now that it's not negative 10 degrees outside, is incredibly vital. Next, that thing that we'll be able to do is hosting fundraisers or small events. If you have a network in your community that's interested in building out a fundraiser, that would be absolutely sensational. Right now, I did just mention signatures, but it's also about money and making sure that we have the funding needed to get the signatures across the finish line. So fundraisers would be a great opportunity, and really just generally helping us expand the circle of people engaged in this work. If your business is hosting an event that you think would be great to have circulators at, please let us know. If there are different community events that you think we should be at, please let us know. I will pop my phone number and my email into the chat. And then, Beth, I don't know if you also want to include that in any like follow-ups to folks. As the campaign manager, I'm very happy to meet with any and all people who are businesses who are interested in helping support our efforts. So thank you again for taking the step for the endorsement, and really excited to work alongside y'all, specifically over these next few months as we get this on the ballot.
Hey, Courtney, can you share the details from that poll this morning that Amelia sent to us? Is it the Navigator poll? Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah, give me 1 second to pull that up, and I absolutely can.
Okay, awesome. That's what I mentioned in the chat. Courtney, I feel like you can describe the Navigator poll better than I can, but it is just, yet another ongoing data point in the popularity with voters of taking a run at corruption in service of saving our democracy.
Yes. Okay, I have the results from it. Sorry, it was not front of mind after the day today. Okay, so the latest polls are 8 in 10 Americans believe elected officials focus on enriching themselves and their donors stops them from getting things done. This is 86% of Democrats believe this, 78% of independents, and 74% of Republicans. By 21 points, Americans believe Republicans are better described as, quote, working for big corporations instead of the people than Democrats, although we do know that the way people feel about corporate money knows no political stripe. This is across the board. Folks are feeling this way. Similarly, an elected official who refuses to take money from corporate donors and PACs would be viewed as more trustworthy by 63% of folks, including 42% who say they would be, quote, much more likely to trust that elected official if they refused corporate PAC money. So some more like, a different way of also breaking down what we've seen in our past polling with that 81% number. But yeah, that's the latest that came in hot off the presses this morning.
Thank you all. And when is the deadline? And sorry if you said this in the presentation. I failed to write it down. But when are you all?
Yeah, so we have a statutory deadline of May 27th. However, we are trying to wrap up signature collection by mid-April. By April 16th, to be specific.
And
Okay,
just for
so
folks that haven't run ballot initiatives before, the reason why that's the goal is because it can actually take weeks to get back all of the signature sheets that we've handed out. Like if we officially end signature collection on the day that we have to turn them in, we won't get back all the signature sheets that we actually have.
So maybe we'll appeal to any businesses that have early Earth Day events happening.
And if people are still collecting after that, that's good. We can actually keep turning things in. It's just that the window shifts. Like it has to be within 180 days. But yeah, anyway, Courtney will handle all that. And actually, she's probably more on top of it than I am. So I should stop talking.
You're doing great, Christy. We will update you, but for where we're at right now, the goal is us being done with signatures by mid-April. We're obviously doing a big push right now, but given the weather, we're looking at March as being like, all right, this is where we're gonna really be full gas pedal. So we are building up the on-ramp to support that scale come March. But ultimately, we have until that May 27th deadline to submit the signatures.
Yep. And did anyone have any questions?
This is Denise from National Wildlife Federation. Sorry, I'm off screen because I'm in transit. I was wondering, I mean, we can guess who is going to oppose this ballot initiative and who will try to run ads against it and try to defeat it. Can you tell us a little bit more about who's supporting it?
Yeah, Courtney, you want to take that?
Yeah, I can start. So I was brought on as our campaign manager. My first day was January 5th, but this work has been going on long before January 5th. So Michiganders for Money Out of Politics is a coalition. And until I came on as a full-time staff, all of the work of getting this campaign up and running, getting the language all set, the initial signature push that happened, that was done by our coalition. So that includes Clean Water Action, Voters Not Politicians, Michigan United, League of Conservation Voters, Moses, Detroit Action. There's a number of folks within the coalition that you can go and on our website if you're curious about who else in the space. We did, for big endorsements, we did just get SEIU Michigan's endorsement, which is fabulous and really exciting. And then yeah, we're also working with a group called the Committee to Protect Healthcare. They just endorsed. So we're working on the health insurance, health field side of things as well. But yeah, other than that, Sean, I bet you've got more information there.
Well, I mean, and 81% of the public, according to the polls. But yeah, we're still, building support, have some labor support coming in from SEIU, and, we're excited to keep this moving.
Definitely, Zoe. I only put my email in the chat, but let me also throw in my phone number. Because is okay.
Yeah, and I wasn't quick enough. I was like typing and trying to find the link at the same time. But there's this extreme weather event happening to honor the ice storm that Northern Michigan experienced, and I bet there'll be maybe 50 or 60 people from Gaylord in the room. So I think that would be a great place if you have any volunteers in that area.
I will definitely share it out. Thank you. That's exciting. I mean, not exciting to we're remembering an ice storm, but you get what
I get you.
Okay, great.
One of those things you don't want to do, but is necessary.
And where's the best place to go for upcoming events? I was just trying to find.
Our Mobilize page, which I will
Yes,
also
I got
link
it.
in here.
Thank you.
Of course.
Found it right as I was asking the
Oh,
question.
great.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
So yeah, that's where I found a lot of local events happening to be helpful, that site. So if folks have interest in joining something around you, that's a nice spot to go. Bookmark. Volunteer. Well, great. I am going to get this out to our members, and I will lift up that they're needing specific locations, that they're needing to host fundraisers, and that the deadline for hosting a fundraiser or an education session around this is early April. And Courtney, is it okay if I put your contact in, or?
Absolutely, yes.
So Beth, can you add a little bit of urgency to doing an educational event to get people recruited as signers, just because it's going to be really important to ramp up in March. So the sooner we do it, the better. Is that possible?
Yep.
Awesome.
And we'll offer to help people host. So.
Yay.
Yeah, and like Courtney mentioned, any businesses that want to sign up as signing locations, which we have several that have already, we publicize that on our website, and it's a great opportunity to hopefully get some folks into the business to sign.
Yeah, I don't think we have any indication that, especially this ballot initiative, is anything but just wildly popular with everyone across the state. So when it comes to any concerns about, something that is perceived as like taking a strong political position, there are two things that voters from both parties in Michigan are really pissed off about. One is corruption, and the other one is data centers. So rest assured, I think that all of the patrons of various businesses will be thrilled.
And I will say too, this might be hard to put in an email, but as you're talking with folks, our circulators have said that this is the easiest ballot initiative to collect signatures for that they've like experienced. And so what we've found is like the main challenge of this is not lack of interest. It is ensuring that we have the coalition is large enough that we're able to scale effectively so we get those signatures. So any way that you're able to communicate that, I think that like definitely helps folks get excited. And if you care about this being an issue, like this is the time to like this it's right now to really lean into involvement.
Oh, yeah.
I have a question. My name is Brett with North by Nature Landscapes. Have any of the big box businesses agreed to allow us to collect signatures?
Not to my knowledge. I know we have like several bigger bars and coffee shops and stuff like that that are letting us collect. But like big box retailers, no.
Although we have had success circulating in the Meyer grocery parking lot, but they have not signed on, especially because this was recorded. They definitely have not signed on as an endorsement.
I love it. Way to go.
Any final burning questions?
Training sessions for petition gatherers, signature gatherers, or is there?
Yes, if you wanted to connect with me, Brett, based on where you're at, I can connect you with our local organizers. And we've got some really great folks who have really strong infrastructure for making sure folks are like all trained via circulators, and then also supported as y'all are heading out and collecting the SIGs.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll do.
Brett, I can also follow up with you. I know that the Groundwork Center is working on hosting one of those trainings in the very near future. I think it might, yeah, I'm not going to say the date out loud because I need to go look for it, but I can send it to you.
Yeah, and we're also in talks with Sean and Christy and Courtney about hosting a fundraiser up in northern Michigan around that same time. It sounds like that evening might be complicated because of the distance between both locations, but we're putting our heads together on, so we'll get more information out around that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I can give everybody 30 minutes back, and I really appreciate you all taking time, Sean, Courtney, and Christy, and
Of course.
GLBN members, and being here. And we'll get this around to the rest of the membership and hopefully get some more solid things in motion here for you all. But
Thank you,
for
Beth.
joining
Really
in.
appreciate it.
Thank you all
Thank
so
you.
much. Have a good night.
Bye, everyone.
Talk soon.